success in business mean no love? Well, we're going to find out today thanks to my guests, Dr. Lara and Johnny Fernandez, coming to us all the way from California. I could call them the love doctors, but I'll let them describe themselves. And we are going to talk today about women, entrepreneurs, and love. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
All right, thank you for having us. We're so excited.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Well, I'm excited as well because I'm sure I'm going to find some insightful information for myself during our conversation. And the first question I have for you is honestly, why are so many successful entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, single?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Well, there's several reasons. There's several dynamics that come into play here, but one of the major ones is that they have more choices these days. Women these days have more choices, and we actually really think that's a good thing. And so many women have been conditioned to think that they can just get love anytime. Like, go to Safeway, pick it up off the shelf, and there it is. And it's just, that's not how love happens. Also, there's no real need anymore in our society for women, right? We don't have to get married to, own property or, to have somebody take care of us. We can get married now for purely amazing reasons such as love, and that's a beautiful thing. Also, what we're finding in our research, we've been doing this now, the work that we do for 7 years, and we've done a lot of research. And what we see is that women, successful women, women who are entrepreneurs especially, or career-minded women, they get so used to putting off focusing on relationships. And, and again, that's kind of a necessary thing. It feels like at first, like I need to put it off. I need to focus on my career, my business, but it becomes a habit. And that's the problem. When it becomes a habit of just putting it off, and oh, someday when I'm not so busy, I'll find love. And instead of making it a priority right now, even in your busy, busy lives, it just keeps being put off into the future and putting off into the future. And that's what keeps amazing women single.
Oh, okay. So there are a couple of things here that you just said, and I can't wait to hear Johnny's perspective on this as a man in the conversation today. But you talked about habits. Now, usually habits are very difficult to break, and you have to make a conscious effort to break those habits, or else you just kind of get comfortable in your habits, like your old pajamas or your old slippers. It's comfy, It's not as comfy to go out there and put yourself out there and actually go out and find love. So that's one of the things I'd love for us to talk about, because I never actually considered it as a habit. Now, true, we don't need to be married anymore to even open a bank account or have a credit card or go to school, or, we now in the westernized world are very, very lucky, but that also means that, as you said, Dr. Lara, we put it off and off and off and off, and if we want to have kids, then we're not like men. Although they do say that there is male menopause, andropause, but we're not like men. We can't, wait and wake up. Okay, I'm 57 now. I'm all settled. I'm going to have a family. It doesn't quite work for us. So let's talk about that habit. Can we break the habit when we're busy and we're building businesses, or we have, flourishing careers?
Sure, absolutely. What happens with the idea of more choices, with the reality of more choices, is that you naturally just kind of start to see that there's always some other opportunity. There's always somebody else that's possible out there. And so we get conditioned into thinking that this is like buying a new car. You just kind of, set out your criteria, and then when you're ready, you just plunk down some money. You just say, I'm amazing. And what happens is that what you find is that you have so many wonderful, successful women who are out there basically thinking that this is just like buying a car or just like being successful in business. And it's not. There's a heart aspect that's important. And you get conditioned in a male-dominated, kind of dog-eat-dog, society to go out there and push, push, push. And that is not the feminine energy that attracts in love. That is really great for kicking butt in your business, but not so great for really attracting love. And so it's not about, now a lot of times women think like, well, that means I have to maybe dumb down. That's not what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is that the habits of just pushing and thinking that, anytime I'm ready, it'll just happen for me. That's just not real life. That's not really in flow with what you said. Like there are certain time realities that really make a difference, and we need to be aware of them and just learn to move it to a higher priority, just like you would if you wanted to do well in a project or get your MBA or bring your business to the next level. You move it to a higher level of priority because you see that what it's going to take to do that is more focus, more attention, more commitment.
Very, very interesting, and also very interesting hearing from a man feminine energy. I've been, since I've been interviewing about a year ago, I've started hearing women who are experts who are actually helping women who have built very successful careers or very successful businesses rediscover their feminine side, because in many cases they aren't able to go out there and build relationship with men because it's like two men, fighting. And the reality is we perhaps are able to build billion-dollar businesses. We know now the owner of and creator of Spanx is now the youngest billionaire, self-made billionaire. So we know we can do that. We can buy the car ourselves. We can do it all ourselves. We know that. But we're not men. Or else we'd have, the same composition of men as men. So a lot of wise people now are talking about sort of that feminine energy that we need to sort of rediscover, or else, we're going to be basically doomed to being single forever, because I guess men don't want to be dating men unless they're homosexual.
Right. And what we find is that we attract a lot of women who are successful in their life, like Lara. I mean, Lara's a doctor. She had a career. She was a successful professional woman. And so this is the type of women that we often work with, because you recognize I have been successful in someplace else. And so we start to actually help you start to look at what was your success pattern. How did you do that? Usually you made it a higher priority. And usually you got some kind of guidance from somebody who's been there. I mean, everybody knows in business, if you want to be successful, you want to make a six-figure business, you want to make $1 million business, you can shortcut a lot of heartache and pain and stuff if you get guidance, mentoring, coaching from someone who's actually done it.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of women don't know that there is such a thing as love mentoring from people that have actually done it, and not from dumb yourself down and wear a short skirt and show some skin. That's nonsense. That a smart, successful woman is not attracted to that thing, because whoever you kind of snag in that relationship, that's not going to be your true self.
Very, very interesting that you said that. And one of the questions I had is do you feel, or in sort of, based on your 7 years of experience, do you feel that women who perhaps may not understand that they need the guidance, they need that mentor, they need that coach, just the same way they did when they were building their businesses, do they find themselves settling, perhaps for, I'm not going to say, perhaps men who aren't challenging them as much as if they had known about, having that guidance or having that coach, so that they could actually go out and get the relationship that really allows them to flourish as much as possible. Do you see that they settle? Or the other thing as well that I'm interested in knowing is it the reason why some women feel that, I can't find a man, so I'm just going to go out and date somebody who's 20 years younger than me?
Well, you know what? If you're not willing to invest in learning the beliefs and behaviors of a successful woman who's attracted love, if you're not willing to do that, then settling is the right thing, because it's just basically going to be more of the same. Some people have this idea of it's a numbers game, and it is not a numbers game.
Oh, interesting.
It's not a numbers game. It is we met on Match.com. It's not an advertisement for that, but just we met online. And you know what? The clients that we work with, they don't do the whole dating a whole bunch of people. Lara went on one date and me. Yep. Because she did the inner work. This is the work that we teach women to do. And the same, that's
wow.
They date 1, 2 guys, boom, then they get their guy. But they're not wasting time sifting through all the people that are not right, because their energetics is in the right place, their heart's in the right place, their beliefs and their behaviors are in the right place. Mm-hmm. And then what they put out there is way more attractive to a quality man, not just any guy.
Oh, what you're saying is almost mind-blowing, simply because I had to date more than one man on online dating, and I kind of gave up. So hearing that Dr. Lara went on 2 dates, and I'm sure a lot of women, because I've talked to a lot of women who after a while they're like, I can't do this, it's just too depressing. So obviously we didn't have the one, the women who didn't get the success that you did. Obviously we weren't ready. And like, how Johnny puts it in terms of the energy, the work that we had to do internally. So perhaps we weren't ready to go out there and find love.
Right. I mean, and that is what Johnny and I do in our courses and our programs, is we actually share with women what I did, what he did. We both intentionally and with focus and with a love mentor, we both attracted one another.
Oh, wow.
And we share what we did, because that's what came before I went on Match.com. The inner work came before I went on Match.com.
Interesting.
I was ready. I had prepared myself. And just like you prepare yourself in business and you prepare yourself, if you're going to run a marathon, you prepare yourself for the marathon. Just like anything else that matters to you, you want to learn how to prepare yourself from people who have done it, who've been down that road, and now we've crafted a path that we went down, and that's what we do for the single successful women that we work with, is we help them go down that path.
And everybody's path looks slightly different.
Yes.
But the bottom line is just there is a way to prepare for love, and there's a way to not. And in a society where we're conditioned to just basically sit around and wait, women are conditioned to sit around and wait.
Yeah, just think about the fairy tales.
Right? And
they sit around and wait.
But the successful woman is not used to sitting around and waiting. So she feels like, I'm getting this message of sit around and wait. But I'm not a sit around and wait person. Mm-hmm. But then they're not if you don't put focus on this area, you lose that energy, that success energy that you have that actually could be your best friend. And right now, it's your worst enemy. Because you're saying, I want something different. But if you're not doing something different, it's just going to frustrate you. So you can go out on date after date after date after date, and it's just going to frustrate you. That's what our clients say, is that they've been dating, online dating.
Too much coffee.
Speed dating, and it's just frustrating.
It is.
When they work with us, they shift things so much that the frustration goes to like practically gone or minimal, and the joy of it, and then the quality of men. We had one woman say, I used to date like fixer-uppers, and now I date guys that are like 8, 9, and 10, and there's not so many. This was a woman who early on, before she attracted love, it was just really like, wow, there's a huge difference in even the men who I'm even going on a date with. I'm putting more attention onto it. Just like if you were preparing for a marathon, you could, run a lot faster around the block. Anyway,
you know what? This is very exciting, and I hear you, Johnny. I mean, twice now, or if not 3 times, you've talked about men of quality, and I think that for a lot of us who've tried, too many dates, too many coffee dates, too many drinks, too many dinners, where 5 minutes into it, you're thinking, how much time do I still have left? And then, you kind of brush it off and thinking, well, forget about this whole dating thing. There are no good men out there. And you're saying something completely different. So this is really, really exciting. And I'm pretty sure that by this time in the conversation, a lot of women are thinking, how do I find out more? So obviously, I'm going to be continuing this conversation with Dr. Lara and Johnny on 2 other interviews, so you definitely want to check that out. And if you are just too impatient and you're looking for love right now, make sure to check out the link right below this interview, and you'll be able to know more about Dr. Lara and Johnny, and are there really good men out there? Thank you so much, Dr. Lara, and thank you so much, Johnny, and I'll see you in the next interview.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.